favorite trainer with a belt buckle, helping you program and assess for a 15-year-old client who wants to get better at pickleball. I'm Chris Hitchko. I wrote the book, How to Become a Successful Personal Trainer. I'm at our beautiful Santa Monica location where we teach trainers. We've helped thousands get hired at elite gyms. We have the fastest growing certification in the world with great partnerships with Equinox and Lifetime. Speaking of Lifetime, they've invested millions of dollars into the pickleball craze. People are trying to become more active, and with that comes injuries. So when you assess someone, the very first thing that you want to do is you want to show up on time, you look professional, you're smiling, you're going to go through a PAR-Q, physical activity readiness questionnaire. You want to learn as much about the individual as possible. If they're 15 years old, a parent should be there. And I'm going to be having a lot of the conversation with the parents and the kid, but they're the ones who are going to be paying for it. And so I want to make sure that I'm competent and professional. I'm not using any loose vocabulary, dropping any F-bombs. You want to relate to the kid so he likes you because he's going to tell mom and dad he should work with you. This is a 15-year-old kid here in Santa Monica who we assessed. He came in with his mom. We talked about goals. Mom talked the majority of the time, and she wanted him to get better at pickleball and blah, 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 blah. So you have great eye contact. I was taking notes. History of exercise. How long has Hadley been working out? That was the kid's name. What has he been doing? What are the goals? Now, do you want to get better at this or that? You need to be the detective during this assessment process. When it comes to the resting measurements, after about 15, 20 minutes of talking, the mom wanted to talk a little bit about nutrition. We talked about that during the assessment. And then we got into the resting measurements. I did not do blood pressure. I did not do measurements. The kid was in good shape. He was active, not too worried about it. If I wanted to, I could, but I chose not to. Measurements, circumference. I said, I can measure your bicep if you like. That's all I'm going to do. I didn't say it's not appropriate for me to measure your son. No, I just used common sense. Those are the people skills. You got to have the people skills, the trade skills, and the business skills if you want to become a successful personal trainer. So I chose not to do those. I asked him, do you want to hop on the scale, see how much you weigh? He said, sure. I said, do you want to do body fat percentage? Because we have a tool here we can use. He said, I'm okay. So I didn't do that. I didn't make him do that. I let my clients decide some of the things that we will do. For someone who's younger, you have to be smart about what you implement. We did grip strength. That's relative to pickleball. Got the dynamometer out there, squeezed it as hard as you could, did the left side, did the right side and left side, got 2 measurements. I documented this all in the assessment process. And then now what we're going to do is we're going to go through a little warm-up and then some screens of what I feel are going to be appropriate for the workouts as we continue. I had mom sign the waiver. He signed the waiver because he's under 18. And then we came into the gym and we did some hip 90-90 right away. Just checking out his mobility, seeing what he can do. We're having a conversation. What are you learning right now? Mandarin. Oh, wow, that's pretty impressive. I was doing Spanish and no habla español muy bueno. Trying to build a rapport because he's going to essentially be looking at me like a dad figure. First trainer I had, I was in 4th grade. Rolling. I looked up to him because I wanted to be like him. For a younger kid, having that male presence is really, really important. I learned mom and dad are going through a divorce, so I need to build that bond with him. Make him feel comfortable. Find things that you can relate to. When they originally reached out to me and said pickleball, within the NSCA Certified Strength and Conditioning Program, this is the best strength program out there, hands down. They focus on the needs analysis. So you got to look at the sport and what are the energy requirements of that sport. Is it fast and explosive, more type 2, fast twitch fibers? Or is it endurance, more type 1? Pickleball, explosive, small court, it's going to be more phosphocreatine. Explosive, longer rest periods. We have fast glycolysis, slow glycolysis, and we have oxidative. It's never just one 100%, it's a combination. It's like coffee. It's not just bean, there's water in there, and there's different flavors come together. That's bioenergetics. And then we're going to take a look at movement competency. As the coach, you have to be thinking, what movements will be appropriate for this individual? You implement the ones you feel are best, see how they do it, and then regress if you need to or progress. I'm not getting out a BOSU ball, stability ball, squat. We need to get you stable on unstable surfaces. No, I'm not going to do an overhead squat assessment or FMS. That's been debunked. I'm not going to make the kid feel weird about doing movements that are not in the sport. You don't do this in pickleball. It's going to be multi-planar. You want to start with multi-jointed exercises. You do a core movement into the accessory. Accessory is going to be prehab, rehab. And the last one for the needs analysis is injuries. So what are common injuries? Knees, wrists, elbows. So I want to put that in the warm-up, but also sprinkle it in within the accessory. So I thought, which would be appropriate, unilateral, transitional for jumping, push, pull, and a press. Those are the 5 movements that I analyzed. I then went into the gym and we started out with the lowest hanging fruit. So for a unilateral, I had him step up, walked around. How does he do it? Does he look like a horse just born, can barely walk, going all over the place? Well, I would start there. He owned that very well, so then we tried lunges. Lunges were what I felt were appropriate to implement an overload. So in my mind, I'm going lunges are appropriate. Jumps, transitional. Let's see how you jump, kid. He could jump well. He wasn't loading like Tinkerbell, doing some weird stuff. I would start there if that was the case. Vertical jump was great, good mechanics. So then we went into transitional on the right and left side, lateral. I thought that would be appropriate. Take a look at a push. Can you do a push-up? Let's hop down and see what we can do. Cranked out 6, very easy. So I can do push-ups and load them with a band. If I felt like I want to do plyos, or I could do incline stuff. Dumbbells I would prefer over barbells because pickleball is a unilateral sport. That's why I chose not to do a squat pattern. I'm not saying I'm never going to do that, but I felt that these patterns are the most appropriate for the sport. Look at the needs, and then you implement the requirements for the sport. That's the whole movement competency. What planes of motion? What are the muscles? It's more upper body, but lateral back and forth. I decided to do pulls, looking at a banded row first. Did that fine. Let's go into a dumbbell. Great. Can you do any chin-ups? Yeah, let's try it out. You can do 2. Great. I want to build his strength. Now you can argue a chin-up isn't that specific to pickleball, but overall strength, I want him to get stronger, and there's something cool about being able to crank out 10 chin-ups. So we're going to implement those. And then a press. Gave him a dumbbell. Let's see how we press overhead. And then we went into do a landmine. That was the workout. Couple sets per exercise with a movement that I felt was appropriate. And then I sat down with mom and said, great, how many times a week do you want to train? He's super busy. He has a tutor. He's doing all the other stuff. Saturday is all we can do. Awesome. Do you want to do 1 month, so 4 sessions, or 3 for 12? You choose. She said, 12? Gave me your credit card, swipe. I wasn't nervous. You need to be confident in that delivery. So the first session he came in, warmed up. How's it going, Adley? Did we eat? Feeling good? Nice. Sleep all right? All right, let's get into the warm-up. Soft tissue mobilizations would be first, followed by mobility and stability, things that we teach within our soft tissue mobilization certification. But I'm not going to be doing soft tissue on a 15-year-old. If I felt it was appropriate, mom or dad would need to be present. But I do not do soft tissue with him. We'll do mobility and stability as the warm-up, hitting the 10 checkpoints: ankle, knee, hip, lumbar, thoracic, spine, shoulder, elbow, wrist, breathing mechanics, getting into all planes of movement. And then the first circuit that we did, lateral jumps, back and forth for 8. 1, 2, 3. Nice. It's kind of an aerobic effect. It's explosive though. He could do it for another 20, but I don't want that because that doesn't resemble the sport. Fast, explosive, long rest. Then we went into some push-ups. We were doing max, improving to get into the endurance range. I want to see 10 plus, so then we would load it up. And then we did some wrist care. If you're not a member of the Prehab Guys app, it's phenomenal. Their exercise library is great to implement with your clients. We have a partnership with them. And so for clients that get injured outside, whatever, we refer to our partners. Having a DPT and an RD on your team is imperative. All things that we teach, part of our specialization certifications. Nutrition coaching, as well as soft tissue. We would do that for 3 rounds. Then we went into a landmine press. Unilateral pressing, great for scapular health. Very specific to the sport. Landmine press, which is great and very specific to the sport. Pickleball, one side, core strength, into a reverse lunge, very economical. Didn't have to go over here and grab dumbbells, we just did it on the landmine. And then we did some airplanes. An airplane is exactly what I'm doing right here. You have a bunch of muscles around the hip, 40 plus, 14 around the knee. The biarticulate ones that are really going to stabilize the hip and the knee are going to be the TFL and sartorius, the gracilis, as well as the glute max because it goes into the IT band, into the knee. So when you bend your knee, you're taking away the emphasis of those muscles and you're just challenging the glute med and the upper fibers of the glute max and the frontal plane. Great, great, great exercise for athletes that need to go back and forth. Tennis, soccer, basketball. I love doing that exercise and it's fun and you can progress it, closing your eyes, throwing a ball. The accessories outside of prehab rehab stuff, you can make it enjoyable. Remember, he's 15. If you make the whole thing go, 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 and he doesn't like it, he's gonna tell mom or dad, I don't wanna continue. So the accessory stuff is when you can have fun, make it a game, and that's what we do at the end. And then the last circuit, do some cable rows, very specific to the sport, pulling. We pushed, we pulled, we pressed. Now we're gonna do some bridge pressing, get the glutes fired up. And then we did a leg curl, leg extension. When it comes to ACL tears, the quads and the gastroc are super, super important. Listen to the podcast I did with the prehab guys. Mike and I talk about rehabbing an ACL so we can put some of these exercises to strengthen the hammies and the quads. You can see over here we have our 20 muscles of the lower body. Those are what you need to do to pass and become a qualified certified trainer, which we teach you at Show Up Fitness. You need to be able to articulate this stuff. Because if you can't design this program on the fly with that person in front of you, you think mom's going to give you the credit card at the end? You're not confident in your delivery. Let me spend 30 minutes writing up your program. What are they going to do? The ability to write that out and do it in your head is so important. And that's why we have trainers getting hired at the best gyms out there. And that's the #1 compliment that management gives. You're done already? You don't need 25 minutes like the last 6 trainers that came in here to design a program for a kid? That's impressive. Yeah, let me take you through it. Wow, and you got engaged. You weren't on your phone. You can talk the talk and walk the walk. You're hired. That's why we have the best trainers at Lifetime, Equinox, Crunch. #1 overall. When you show up, you become elite. You are the 1%. The trajectory for most trainers, burn out. Most quit within the first year. Show up trainers, sky is the limit. Management quicker than anyone's done before. Gym ownership, streams of revenue, building a team, making money while you sleep. That is what you need to turn your passion for fitness into a career. All things we teach you when you show up online, in person, or at our weekend seminars. Do that for 3 rounds, and then at the end, have a little fun. Red light, green light. Maybe you do a shadowing game. Side shuffle. He's following me back and forth. Get him to laugh. Get a balloon. Smack it at him. Go get a pickleball and a racket and go back and forth. Work on dexterity. Make it fun and enjoyable. Do some wall sits for knee and hip and ankle stability and strength. Do some planks, some band walks. Strengthen the frontal plane. Have fun. Make it a game. Enjoyable. Reaction stuff with a laser. You want that kid to go to school and say, I'm working with the best trainer in Santa Monica. Who are you working with, Jimmy Kimmel? Because kids around here are going to the high-end schools. I found out later on this kid goes to a school with $51,000 a year. Holy moly! I would like to train all of the students there and their parents. They can afford our rates at Show Up Fitness. You have to surround yourself with the environment you want to be a part of. And that's exactly what we do, because we are competent in our profession and our trade. This assessment will look different for someone who's a football player, an endurance athlete, tough mudder, desk jockey, someone who wants giant biceps or a big old caboose train versus someone who just wants to get stronger. They want to help with injuries. We can help you with that. Great trainers can assess confidently for the individual. If there's pain, address it with soft tissue. Let them know that there is a team that can help them if you need to refer out. Take them through an appropriate assessment. Pickleball is going to be different than a sprinter versus a desk jockey. And then give them a great workout. The core movement patterns focus on tension. Notice how I don't have a lot of reps and sets in here. If they're a beginner, 2 to 3 sets, 10 plus reps. If they've been doing it for a while and they have the connective tissue strength, the neuromuscular competency, and they can move well, then overload. Get down to 10 reps, 8 reps, 5 reps. If they want to get stronger in the strength range, 1 to 5, 85%. If it's more speed, then you'd put that stuff first. If it's an agility athlete, you need to know how to train all bodies, and that's what we teach you at Show Up Fitness, along with the sales skills that go into the assessment. Leave us comments on workouts that you would like for us to design, reviewing the assessment, business acquisitions, how to build your book of business, whatever it is, we can help you become a successful trainer, strength coach, nutritionist. It's all about showing up. Have a great day.